And so, at the grave risk of oversimplification, what do these books recommend specifically? Well, time is very limiting. We have what we call a 1, 2, 3 punch. The first punch is to hear fluency from your lips. How do you do that if you're a stutterer? You're stuttering all the time. How can you do that? Well, you've got stutter-free zones. Most people do. I've never met a stutterer who couldn't talk alone. Well, I have met one. But the rest of them could all talk alone. Most of them can talk to dogs. Most of them can talk to children under the age of 5. And a lot of them can talk to their families, even their parents. Those are stutter-free zones. Strangers, not so much. Authority figures, not so much. Groups, no. Phone, no, not at all. Not at all. Job interviews, can't do them. Don't do them. Don't do those. But the stutter-free zones, they can talk. We say, you can't talk enough in your stutter-free zones because you're hearing fluency and you're building fluency memories and you're driving out bad memories. So to hear fluency, talk in your stutter-free zones. Secondly, we ask you to read aloud 1 hour a day. And we ask you to do it with passion for 2 reasons. You hear fluency from your lips when you do it. Most of them can read aloud. If they have problems stuttering when they read aloud, I ask them to skip problem words or spell them or whisper them or mouth them. So they read aloud and they hear fluency. That's a major thing. And I ask them to do it with passion. Why? Because when we speak with passion, we are possessed of our message. And when we are possessed of our message, we don't stutter. That's simple. Buy your message and you're done. You don't need anything else. So most people need everything else for a while until they don't need any of this stuff. Now, so hearing fluency, they read aloud. We also ask them to make recordings of their mind training sessions, of their 10 affirmations that they say 20 times each. It takes about 20 minutes for one session. So we ask them to record them in an animated voice. Every day in every way, I grow better and better. And we ask them to do it in a monotone voice. Every day in every way, I grow better and better. Every day in every way, I grow better and better. Why? Because we ask them to play their recordings, their animated recordings, during the day in their idle times, while they're walking the dog, while they're riding a bus, while they're driving a car, etc. We ask them to play the monotone recording as softly as they can barely hear it at night when they sleep. At this point, they're picking up 12 to 14 hours every day of hearing fluency. That's a lot. And the average person would probably speak not more than 4 hours a day. Most of you, if you actually clocked your minutes of actual talking, it's probably not much more than that. So the first thing is to hear the fluency. So we get that up to 12 hours a day. The second thing is, our second punch is the mind training. Before they go to sleep and when they get up and during the day, do not accept negative thoughts. I'm afraid to speak. No, I'm not. I love to speak to this one and that one and so forth. So they fight that. So the mind training comes second. And the third thing is we have certain tools. This is very, very important. If you broke both your legs at your knees, the doctor might tell you, I want you, here is a wheelchair, here is a walker, here are some crutches, and here's a couch. I want you to stay off your legs until they heal. If you don't, they're not going to heal. So I say to the stutterer, you cannot keep stuttering. You've got to stop the stuttering in order to get over it. So during this period, when you're retraining your mind, you need to stop your stuttering. How are you going to do that? Well, we have methods. We have tools and strategies. I don't need them anymore. Most of the people that I've coached now that have beaten it, We call them PWSS, people who stop stuttering. They don't need them now, but they needed them for some time. 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever. And what are they? We call them crutches, like the crutch you use to stay off broken legs, or we call them a speech plan. Crutches are aimed at individual words. We have a host of them, all by trial and error, some of them invented by my students. Examples of them are drop the first letter of the problem word. Use a synonym, similar word or phrase. Skip the word or spell it. What's your name? L-E-E, Lee. I could do that. What's your name? Sue, or S-U-E, Sue. So I could spell it. Thirdly, or next, tell a story about the word. What's your name? Well, my parents were born in Scotland, but blah, blah, blah. And my name's Lee. Once I get talking, I can say it. Another one is rephrase or change the thought. Rephrase what I was going to say to avoid the problem word, or simply change the thought. Another one is whisper. Another one, very effective, is insert a word or a sound in front of the problem word. I can't say Lee, but if I go, oh, Lee, I can say it. Because when I go, oh, I break the block on the Lee. And if I connect them, I can always say it. I've never known a stutterer who couldn't. Oh, Lee, Lee. So, Lee, well, Lee. I can use a word too. And Lee. I can do that with any problem word. And Bermuda, so Bermuda. Rick, Lee, whatever. I can do it to any name I want. So, Jen. But I may not be able to say Jen on command. But I can go, so Jen, I can do that all day long. These methods work. And that's why we have hundreds of people saying, you saved my life. These people many of them are suicidal. They live like hermits. They don't have partners. They don't have spouses, many of them. They can't get jobs. If they get them, they can't hold them. I had one woman, an Arab, had 200 job interviews without a job. She's got one now. 1, 2, 3, punch. So that was the tools.